Okay, it is officially time for the A to Z mini reworks, my thoughts, ideas, changes, so on and so forth. So, yeah. We are at stupid. I didn't realize he's difficulty 1, but you know, that makes a lot of sense. Jarvian. Style is slightly more abilities than auto attacks. I will agree. And he is. He is one of the all around. Crowd control, mobility, utility, damage, toughness. Wow. The only problem is that this is a lie. This is a lie. I'll agree with the crowd control. I'll agree with the mobility. I'll agree with the utility. I won't agree with these. I won't agree with these at all. Because he's tanky as shit. And he one-shots you in a moment. Now, yeah, I understand that there's a slight differentiation. There's a differentiation between the builds. But usually, you get the half one-shot build where he builds like a Dust Blade and like a Yomu's. And he one-shots you. And you're just sitting there wondering how a tank with 3,000 HP one-shot you. Because, yeah, it's stupid. He should not be able to do it. So, yeah, I'd probably give him damage 3 and keep toughness 2 or change it to 3. Because even when he does go tank, he still smacks the hell out of you. Because usually he'll have like one damage item, and that one damage item will be enough for him to smack the hell out of you. It's very annoying. It's very annoying. Prince Jarvan, Scion of the Light Shield Dynasty, is here a parent to the throne of Demacia. Raised to be a paragon of his nation's greatest virtues, he is forced to balance the heavy expectations placed upon him with his own desire to fight on the front line. Jarvan inspires his troops with his fearsome courage and selfless determination, raising his family's colors high and revealing his true strength as a future leader of his people. Pretty meh lore. I understand that, yeah, there is more, but still pretty meh lore. Jarvan, the Exemplar of Demacia. Okay. Martial Cadence. Jarvan's initial basic attack on a target deals bonus physical damage. The effect cannot occur again on the same target for a short duration. This is why he one-shots you, because he'll have like this and Dust Blade and like a Sheen, or the new item, the Storm Razor, and he'll just blop you, and he'll just be like, poof, you're dead now. Okay, Dragon Strike. Jarvan extends his lance, dealing physical damage and lowering the armor of enemies in its path. I didn't realize it lowered armor. Additionally, this will pull Jarvan to his Demacian standard, knocking up enemies in his path. I didn't know about that. His W, stupid. Golden Aegis. Jarvan calls upon the ancient kings of Demacia to shield him from harm and slow surrounding enemies. That's so stupid. Especially because it does damage. Like, it literally, it's a shield and a slow all around him in a very wide radius. Like, that's this almost the size of an Amumu ult. Demacian Standard. Jarvan carries the pride of Demacia, passively granting him bonus attack speed. Activating Demacian Standard allows Jarvan to place a Demacian flag that deals magic damage on impact and grants attack speed to nearby allied champions. What the flip? Are you kidding me? Cataclysm. Jarvan heroically leaps into battle at a target with such force that he terraforms the surrounding area to create an arena around them. Nearby enemies are damaged at the moment of impact. Okay. So I've learned new things, such as 1, his E gives attack speed to both him and allies, and that his Q lowers armor. Stupid. Like, I don't understand why they gave a bruiser utility things and gave him the capability of one-shotting like an assassin. Like, I don't get that. Jarvan, in my opinion, is just such a stupid champion. He's capable of doing so many different things. Like, you build 2 damage items on him, maybe 3. You go full tank. And then the next thing you know, he's one-shotting you while still being able to frontline for his team, while at the same time, apparently, helping his team. Like, I don't understand why you give people so many different aspects, especially when you give them, like, a difficulty of 1. I sort of understand it when it comes to champions that have a difficulty of 3, like Camille and Azir and Irelia, because at least then, like, they're kind of hard to perform to the fullest, so that, yes, they're capable of doing all these different things, but it's pretty difficult. But even in the cases of when they're difficulty 3, I still think it's ridiculous that they can do so many different things with so much ease. Like how Aurelia can do so much damage, regen so much HP, dash around all over the place, and be a frontline tank. It's so much. Azir, like, yeah, I would say most of the time I have a problem with people that are more tanky, but, like, even Azir, he's capable of damaging you from such a great distance. He's capable of poking you down easy, capable of escaping pretty easily, CCing the entire team, locking up an entire team, has a great engage, has a great disengage, has all these different things, but Azir really isn't all that good right now. But then you get to, like, any tank. I think tanks... Now, yeah, I understand that, League people always say the League is like a tank meta, and I agree to an extent. But at the same time, I do not think that tanks and or bruisers should have the same capabilities. I am more okay with, like, ADCs and assassins having these type of capabilities because they have a higher outplay potential. If a tank who's already super tanky, who has a lot of HP and a lot of armor, has the ability of outplaying you, there's a bit of a problem. Like, I agree that tanks shouldn't just be some dumb wall that stands in front of you, and should have some skill to play efficiently and do things like that, but I don't think that they should have such a high outplay potential and such a high I'm going to turn on you potential. And I just noticed that they didn't change Swain. Like, that's old Swain. Great job, guys. So very proud. Okay, but what I would do with Jarvan, I'd keep his passive the same. As much as I agree that it really helps him one-shot people, and I think it would do a lot better, if it was on, like, an assassin. But then I think maybe it'd be too much for an assassin. I would just... See, it does bonus physical damage. I can't see how it gets that bonus physical damage. If it is a set number that increases with level, I will say, okay, that is what it should be. If it scales with how much attack damage he has, that should be changed immediately. So, like, if he builds full attack damage, and let's say a bonus physical damage, it'll give him 10 at level 1. And then it scales with his attack damage, so then he builds full AD, gets like an IE, a bunch of BF swords, and so on and so forth. And then that makes do like 100 plus physical damage. If it's something like that, I would change that immediately. If it is instead the other spectrum, where every level he gets like 10 more. Okay, no, 10 would be a bit much. By like level 1, he'd have 10 bonus attack damage for every first auto. But then by level 18, he'd have like 40 or 50 bonus attack damage. Now, yeah, that's still a pretty high amount if you really look at the swing of things. But at the same time, that's pretty reasonable. Where I don't want it to be he scales with however much attack damage he has. Or it should not scale with him at all. It should be a set number that increases as levels go on. That's what his passive should be. His Q. You know what? I'll keep it the exact way it is. I like the way how it works with his E. I wish that they did more abilities like that in the game, that you had to work with each other in this manner. Now, I understand there's few sort of exceptions where they'll, like, place a mark on you or something like that, but I mean, like, specifically work with each other in this way. Okay. Then I would mess with his W in one way or another. Meaning I would either prevent him from getting a shield or I would prevent him from slowing the enemies around him. Like, I disagree with the fact that he should have an arena, a slow, and a knock up. Like, 3 different CC is not a fun time, and I don't even know if they consider his ult CC, but I do. I do consider the terrain building a type of CC. Like, if, what's her name? Anivia. If Anivia threw up her wall in front of me, I would consider that a type of CC, because it prevents my movement in that manner. But yeah, and like, I disagree with the fact that he can gain a shield and slow you while doing damage all around him whenever he wants for, like, a very small mana cost. I would either make it, I'd make it, like, percent HP based, honestly. That, like, if he is above 50% HP, I'd make it slow, but I would not give him a shield. If he is below 50% HP, then I'd give him a shield, but I wouldn't give him a slow. Or the damage, and neither of them would do damage. No, I lied. If he's above 50% HP, it would slow and do damage. If he's below 50% HP, it will only give him a shield and nothing more. That is all it will do. Why is just because I think having so much on that ability is too much. Like, yeah, I understand I'm keeping everything the way it is right now, but I'm not making it all activate at once. And, yeah, I just think that the fact that he's capable of getting a shield and slowing is just too much in some cases. Now, I agree that there are, like, other abilities similar to that with other champions that I will honestly say is perfectly fine to encouraging it to be on a few champions. But I think it depends on the person's kit, such as Jarvian, who has to lock you in an area so you can't even dodge his W, or, like, it's an instant ability. Also, like, if they another thing that they could do on it, they could keep it having the shield. So the other thing that I would do with his W is if I would make it, like, either chargeable or based off of, like, how many targets it hit. Just to kind of experiment with it. That way, if he's just fighting one target, where I've been in many 1v1s with Jarvian where he's bullshitly won. And, like, I'd give the shield, like, the bigger the shield, the shield will get to what its size is, like, right now, if he hits all 5 people. Like, if he is in the middle of all 5 people on the enemy team, then I will give him a slightly bigger shield. Or I'd make it a chargeable thing where he needs to hold in his W, calling down the gods, like what his W does, or the ancient kings, I guess. And depending on the charge, will depend on how much it slows, and also decide how much of a shield he gets when doing it. Now, yet again, the max charge would be equal to the shield that he gets currently. So it would be a nerf by every sense of the word. But considering how I am trying to nerf him, that makes sense. These are just alternatives to doing the thing with his HP. Then there is his E. I do not agree with him getting passive. With him getting passive attack speed just from having it. But I will agree to it giving attack speed to all allies upon it landing. And I would agree to it giving him attack speed as well, but that is it. Meaning once he uses it, it will give attack speed to everyone around, and it will give attack speed to him as well. So, yeah, that's all I would really do with that one, is just take off the passive attack speed for him and just make it so that everyone can get attack speed, including himself. Then his R. I would change his R in some sort of way, shape, and or form. Like, the only way out of it is either to have a movement ability or to flash. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I think it limits options by so much that it annoys me, because a lot of champions in this game don't have a dash that can go over terrain or something along that line. And most of the ones that do, are like ADCs, so I will admit that they have a good chance of surviving it. But at the same time, it does a ton of damage, and he's capable of one-shotting you pretty quickly, especially, when he's building the meta Jarvian build of like a Dustblade, some sort of other one-shot item, and then full tank. So I do not fully agree that his ult should be as strong as it is, but I don't consider it the worst thing in the world. And I think that with the other nerfs, that it should be okay. So what I would do is just an overall recap: change his passive to change his passive to only doing damage off of like scaling with level, and making his Q the exact same. His W, I would basically gain some time with it, either, above 50% HP, it only slows, and below 50% HP, it only gives a shield, or getting a charge to it, or making... I would just nerf it in some sort of way, shape, or form. I just think that it's pretty bullshit the way it is now, how he just gets a shield while slowing you and doing damage. And it's like the same thing as the Diana W, where, how she gains the balls around her and just gets a shield. And, like, she does damage, hits you with each of those, and then she gains even more of a shield, and it's like that, it's stupid. Like, it is rather stupid. And, his E, I would just take away the passive attack speed for himself, but he still gets the active attack speed upon it landing. And his R, I'll keep it the same. And, that's what I would do. That would lower his damage output with his passive. That would lower, and with this taking away the attack speed, and that would basically still keep his tankiness, because the W still gives the shield and so on and so forth, and a CC if possibly slowing. It would just be more difficult to do. And let's go over to the skins real quick. So there's regular Commando Jarvan. I think is pretty stupid, not gonna lie. I think the skin's outdated and it needs to be readjusted. Plus this is really stupid. Like, just looking at this angers my soul every time. That's not how you do that. That's not even how they did that in the olden days. And, like, he definitely doesn't look like he's from the olden days either. So, like, this is not how you do that. Dragon Slayer Jarvan, I think this needs to just be, like, changed. It just looks so stupid. Like, it looks menacing, but that's about it. It just overall looks dumb. They just need to readjust how it looks. Dark Forge Jarvan, I think, okay, all of his skins just need to be readjusted. They just need to be changed. I forgot about Victorious Jarvan, and yet again, same thing. He just looks stupid. He just looks stupid. He needs, good, here, this is the first skin, Warring Kingdoms, that actually looks good. That he actually looks good on. The skin is nice. Like, all of these, you can clearly see how they are just very outdated. But then, like, this is the first one with, like, a newer art style. You can see his face pretty decently. You can see, like, all the different metal options and, like, what they've done with his armor. Like, the whole staff looks good. The Fnatic skin, honestly, I would, for, like, once, I'll actually consider the skin pretty good. He has, like, the whole blades things going on here, which I do think is pretty nice. He kept, like, all the weird techno symbols? Weird symbols. I don't know why I'm calling them techno symbols. Dark Star Jarvan is absolutely great. Like, yeah, it lowers his armor options, and I'm not the fondest of his chest always exploding. But overall, it just looks really cool. I forgot that he has 2 skins again. He's not the only one that does. Yeah, Ezreal does too. And but yet again, like this one also looks really nice. It has like the whole G in here. The blade looks really good. The shoulder pads is great. Like the shoulder things are just fantastic. The rest of his armor, it just looks like it fits. Like it really fits with everything else. Where he has the armor where it's necessary, but then he also has the cloth, and it's a really good combination of cloth and armor. So yeah, that has been Jarvan. As I said, he's a bit too much right now. He just has too many options. Once they shorten up those options, I'd say he'd be much more balanced champion. So I'm going to thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to bid you all adieu. Goodbye.